Hey, how's it going everyone? It's your boy Wags here, and I gotta be completely honest, I really wanted another Shadows of Doubt story video between my last upload and now this one, but I have been having a very difficult time recording gameplay lately, and it's not the game's fault at all. I mean, when you put over 100 hours into a game that's still in early access, you're bound to eventually come across all the little things that hold it back from being just shy of perfect. So for this video, I thought I'd go over my thoughts on the current state of the game, take a look at the developer roadmap, and possibly provide some suggestions for the future of the game by talking about some things I'd really love to see later in development. And of course, feel free to add to the conversation, drop some comments down below on different ideas you feel could be implemented well in Shadows of Doubt. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks. All that being said though, I do feel like I need to clarify real quick, I am not a video game developer. Nor have I ever worked on a video game in any way. I'm not affiliated with coal-powered games or Shadows of Doubt outside of just making content for all of you. However, what I am though, is a gamer. No, seriously though, jokes aside, I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of Shadows of Doubt, and in that time the games community has absolutely blessed this channel, and I feel like it's time we officially have the talk. No, God, no, I meant talk about the game. Shadows of Doubt, one of the most immersive crime-solving life sims you'll ever play. A world so deep-seated in the muck of crime that you'll spend days tracking every lead possible, from fingerprints, personal files, sales records, word of mouth. Every clue will take you one step closer to solving the case. That is, if the bugs don't get in the way first. No, not those bugs. I'm talking about things like randomly falling through the map, civilians deciding to just ignore gravity and walk an invisible staircase to space, or even worse, when they get stuck in some sort of trance where they have to enter and exit the same door 100 times. While most of these aren't necessarily game-breaking, they definitely are immersive breaking, or just slightly annoying at most. To be honest though, I'm not worried about the bugs in the slightest when it comes to the integrity of this game. Since the very beginning of the early access release, Cole and his team have done an outstanding job when it comes to regular bug patches and weekly updates that continue to make the game more technically sound. In my opinion, it's not the bugs at all that makes the game difficult to play after an extended period of time. It's the gameplay loop itself, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I've been wanting to make this video. I'm going to be talking about how the actual murder mechanics work, so if you haven't played much of the game, I would just skip over this section entirely because it's going to contain major spoilers about how the murders work behind the scenes and the game ultimately plays better when you don't understand any of it. I'll explain further, but this is your last warning to click ahead to the timestamp. Okay, so while the game will continue to load endless amounts of murder cases for you to solve, and you can stay in a sandbox world for quite a while you do this, the real fact is you're only solving the same 4 or 5 cases over and over again. And these are what I'm going to call murder archetypes. Essentially the NPCs partaking in the murders, as well as the location of the murders, the murder weapon, the victim, all these things are really randomized and procedurally generated just as the game tells you. But the course of the investigation will be the same every time, especially once you begin to pick up on the clues. I'll give you an example. When you jump into a brand new sandbox city, as I do a lot on my Shadows of Doubt series, chances are your first case is going to be someone murdering their coworker, and you can tell because every time at the crime scene you'll be greeted with this distinct business card that reads, "Put a pin in it," accompanied by this writing on the wall. Now to a first-time player it's not exactly telling, but you do it enough and soon the process becomes pretty easy and repeatable. Scan the business card and identify a print, find out where your victim worked either through their work ID or their files at home, go to that workplace, there's probably going to be a board with all the employee photos, take out your fingerprint scanner until you find your matching print, that or go through the employee documents until again you find your matching print. That's it, 5 minutes from the murder taking place to identifying the killer. And the other murders are the same when it comes to dropping substantial evidence that immediately gives away what type of case it is. So how do you fix it? Well, I think there's a very reasonable solution. As of right now, the in-game difficulty option only changes the amount of incoming damage your character takes, meaning you're less likely to die to a bullet swarm on a low difficulty than you are on a high one. That's all it changes, incoming damage. I really wish there was some sort of add-on option, or it could just be built into the difficulty options itself, but I wished if you played on a high difficulty level, you would get less evidence at your crime scene. This way it doesn't take away from the actual murder archetypes when new and returning players want to experience them, but if you just want to take a sandbox world as far as you can, decorate a flashy apartment, and live your life as the bold detective you were born to be, then you don't want the game to feel like you're repeating the same murders over and over again, and you don't want the game to blatantly point you in the correct direction of your investigation. Some of the best cases I've had in this game are the ones where my board is stocked to the brim of different notes, suspects, little key pieces of info that slowly lead me to the true murderer, the ones where I have to prowl every dark corner of the city for answers. Those are the cases I truly love, and Shadows of Doubt has the ability to provide an endless amount of them. Now before I talk about some cool features and additions I'd love to see implemented, I thought it'd be a good idea to discuss the current roadmap we have at the moment. We just passed the Cheats and Liars update and are well on our way to update 2 this month, which is mod support. Now you might remember a video I did a couple months back which talked about how to add mods to your game through Thunderstore. I'm not sure what happened, whether it was some sort of patch update or what, but a lot of these mods since that video have become broken or just pulled off the website completely because I guess they were breaking the game, I'm not sure. The important thing is, sometime this month, modders will be receiving the proper tools in order to continue what they do best. So what are these tools exactly? Well, Cole already went over it a little in the Shadows of Doubt Discord. In his words, the update consists of 3 main elements. A text editor, which will allow you to add or alter in-game text and dialogue, customize NPC chatter, conversations, V-mails, and more. He also states that the dialogue can be triggered depending on different citizens' traits. The second thing is an in-game city editor where you'll be able to rename buildings and streets and decide where you want to place buildings, and that plans to be expanded on in the future. And the third thing is a mono build version of the game that players can mod and experiment with however they see fit. Cole then wrapped up the update by saying a few other things are coming that are unrelated to mods, but those are going to stay a secret for now. They're hoping for the update to drop early December, so it should be here soon. Now, does this mean when this update drops that we're going to see a crazy influx of mods? Probably not, but hopefully over the next few months the modding process becomes a little easier thanks to the tools given by the developers themselves. That's really all we can hope for. Now real quick though, I have a bone to pick with all of you. According to my analytics, only 11% of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So to the other 88%, I'm just gonna say this. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But hey, we can put it all behind us if you just hit that awesome red subscribe button. Since I do spend a lot of time on these videos, writing the scripts, editing the clips together, not to mention, it would really just mean a lot to me. And if you're interested, you can also join my Discord where we talk about our favorite video games, say good morning team, and pretty much just chill. I'd love to see you in there. So back to the roadmap. After the initial mod support, the next official update we'll have to look forward to is the social class update, which we should see around springtime of 2024, followed by the murder drop later in the year. Now, I can only assume the murder drop is going to be one, if not multiple, new types of murder cases to investigate. As for the social class update, I can see it going 2 ways. Either it's referring to the NPCs, in which there'll be different class structures for them, sort of like there already is with the homeless population, but maybe it'll be more prominent. Maybe the richer and poorer NPCs will be easier to identify. Or the update is referring to our character, in the fact that we're slowly rising the ranks through the social class of our city by solving crimes for certain NPCs, and returning lost items, which was recently added in the Cheats and Liars update. Maybe we can build relationships with these NPCs, and in turn they'll be more likely to share information with us. Maybe after solving a few cases, NPCs start to know who we are and are more willing to help out during an investigation. Again, these are all just my interpretations of what the updates could be. I'd love to hear yours, so please drop them below. The last thing I want to talk about is just some cool additions I think would benefit the game. Now, in no way am I expecting this stuff to be added, but if by chance a dev happens to be watching the video or a potential modder wants to make it a reality, it could happen. Either way, they're just ideas. So the first thing as far as new cases go, I would love to see some sort of kidnapping case where we have to put together the clues of someone's routine, find out where they were kidnapped, where they're being held, and by who. Maybe if you take too long to find the victim, you'd be met with a dead body, but if you found them in time, you'd instead come across a restrained NPC in need of freeing. Another thing I'd love to see is further use of the blood type mechanic. As of right now, it's only really used for comparing and identifying suspects, just like height, eye color, or any of those other features. I think it would be really cool if eventually we could come across a crime scene with no body, just blood. We'd have to take a sample of it to either the Sync Clinic or some new building location, and in return maybe we'd receive a name of 5 or so NPCs with that same blood type. And I believe this sort of evidence processing could be done in a few different ways. Like the example I just made where you take blood sample to be tested, there are also many in-game objects that could be taken and used in a case. Sometimes when playing, I manage to come across a collection of VHS recordings or a camera owned by an NPC. What if you could take this camera to a shop in order to develop the pictures, and they ended up being photos of a dead body? Shadows of Doubt has so much potential to be the best murder-solving sim out there, not to mention it has the appeal of a life sim built into it. You're not just solving murders, you're building a reputation for your detective, buying an apartment, decorating it to your liking, and slowly working towards a peaceful retirement. So this is why I'm adding this last idea before I bring the video to a close. It's a little far-fetched, but bear with me. What if instead of retiring to the fields, we purchase a property that essentially acts as a private investigator's office? I mean, think about it, all the features are there. We have the ability to purchase and decorate properties. NPCs already visit certain businesses to pin jobs on the board for us. Is it really that crazy to think that one day citizens might be able to visit our own office just to bring the important jobs straight to us? Let me know down below. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure sitting here and talking with all of you about the game. Feel free to share your thoughts about stuff I talked about down below, whether it is about the game or even just about how your day was. Remember to like and subscribe, all that amazing stuff. Link for the Discord is in the description. Hopefully I'll see you in there, but if not, I will see you on the next one.